it sounds a little bit like what happened to hip hop culture, where back in the day you had to stand on what you were saying.
Yeah.
And you really had to be about that.
You
Whatever
really had to
you
be
were
on.
saying, it was.
Yeah.
Today, not too much.
Not too much. Well, yes,
but
no.
comedy probably something else, because sometimes it's not always your story you tell. It's something funny or whatever. It's probably a little different, but
it's a little
similarities.
bit different. I know what you're saying, man. I feel like okay, so hip hop back in the day, it was the art of poor folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I read DMX's book. You know what I mean? I've been to like the different neighborhoods where a lot of these guys grew up, and it was bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm not from Compton. I've been to Compton twice, and I will say, like, growing up in Compton, that's a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll tell you that right now. That's a scary place to be at night if you're lost. And so, what the difference is, you had people that actually like struggled, and they came from a voice, and it was like fresh, and it was new. And stand up, you got a lot of people where it's just, you know, it's just generic. You know what I mean? It's like a generic thing. How can I put this better? I would say that a lot of the people that did rap back in the day, they were doing it for the art. You know what I mean? They were just saying what was in their heart, and they had their own sound. It was like grassroots, to where, you know, LA stuff sounded like LA stuff. You know, Miami had their own sound. New York, like, you know, New York, they had a very distinct sound. You know what I mean? You listen to like New York stuff from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. It sounded like, you know, the whole break beats, like the DJ Premier, like the dark drums. The South had a very different style. All these places, Midwest had their own style, you know, with Bone and Crucial Conflict and all the rapping and stuff. And now with rap, everything kind of sounds the same. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you do got guys that really be about that life, maybe even more than back in the 90s, because Ice Cube, he was never a gangster. You know what I'm saying? Like Ice-T, Dub C, all those like classic rappers from the West Coast, even Snoop Dogg, they weren't like about it like how they said like in their raps. Now you got dudes that are actual gangsters rapping, but they never lived long enough to really get, you know, to that next level. But back to what I was saying before, like New York rap, now it sounds a lot like Atlanta rap. You know what I mean? Yeah. And a lot of LA rap sounds like Atlanta rap. You have like a distinctive LA sound that, you know, people kind of like, you know, Kendrick's kind of bring it out, but it's still not. But that's just, I think that's just corporate culture in general, man. Like, you go to all these cities, all the buildings look the same, all the houses look the same, cars look the same. Like, when I watch shows, like, you know, you watch like the movies set like back, like in the cowboy times. You know what I mean? And you would see, like, you know, the Chinese people, they got like the long robe and the little hat, you know, and the ponytail in the back. And you see like the Turkish dude, he got the mustache, and, you know, everything was very like distinct. Everybody was like different. And that to me is like super fly. You know what I mean? Like, that was dope. You know, black folks had their little clothes, the white boys dressed their little way. Now everybody's become more and more homogenized, because when it's homogenized, it's easier to sell you something. You know what I mean? So yeah, but with comedy, now you got these groups that were kind of like ignored before. You got more Arab comedians, you got more Indians, you got all these people, which I think is great. And, you know, now that there's so many of them, you're getting a lot more of hearing the same jokes, which I think is also good, because you got to have the noise. And now you got people that are forced to try harder and think smarter to rise above and stand out in the crowd, you know, which is normal in art. It just sucks that there's no, we don't have any gatekeepers anymore. Like you know, the internet, it's all based on like who posts the most and who knows how to game the algorithm, as opposed to somebody who really cares about the art form. And it's like, you know what, I'm gonna co-sign this person, and they're gonna pass because what they have to say is more original than everybody else. Now, if you want to find original art, you really gotta like go into YouTube and dig deep and swipe. You know, TikTok just finally till you find something good and then original, and then that person gets, you know, 200,000-300,000 followers. They're busy touring, making money, and now they don't really write jokes anymore, and they're now they suck. You know what I mean? Then you got to find the next dude that's hungry and like wants it. You know, so there's still a lot of good talent out there, man. It's just harder to find, I think. You know what I mean? But there's some really good shit out there. Hip hop too. You know, 2025 is like the best year, I think, for hip hop in like a long time, dude. Like, especially like you got like new dudes, and you know you got not even new. You know, you got like Jid came out with like a new one. You got the new Clips. You know, the fucking Ghostface Killer just came out with one like, you know, yesterday, which was fucking crazy good. Like, you're getting a lot more good music now. And I think now with like fascism on the rise, whenever it's like really fucked up society, that's when art, like, people step their game up. You know what I mean? People step their game up just because they have to. You know what I mean? You know, there's well, strong men create soft times. I feel like hard times create better comedians. You know what I'm saying? Better artists. You know, you look at the art from like the 30s, all that like modern, you know, Cubits, Dadaism and shit. That shit was dope. You know what I mean? And then like you look at art from like the 80s, and it's like, you know, it's a trash bag with a dildo in it. Like, oh, that's great. Like, no, like shit was like lame. You know what I mean? So I feel like I'm looking forward. Like I'm not looking forward to all the bad shit that's gonna happen, continue to happen, but I'm looking forward to the art that comes out of it. So I feel like it's gonna get better.